We'll start our Android app first with the layout. So if you have access to the exercise files, create a project called Building Layout, and then drag the appropriate exercise files right onto that project in Eclipse, making sure to link and override all the files. If you don't have access to the exercise files, then in the source folder, you can create the Java classes app main and detail view. We'll go over them soon. And in the assets folder, you're going to need data.xml, which is just that same data file that we've been using, the static data file that we've been using in other chapters in this course. So you can just copy that into the assets folder. And in the resources folder, in layout, I have not only main.xml, which is the default file we get in an Android project, but I also have detail.xml. So you can create that by clicking that icon on the screen that looks like a file with a plus on the top right. So let's start by opening up main.xml. Now, if you don't see the same view that I do, which is the Android XML layout, you can right-click main.xml and choose Open with Android Layout Editor. So here we have the default view for our main file. And what I'm going to do is select that text that says Hello World, and I'm going to delete it. And then I'm going to go into Composite, and then grab a list view and just drag it into that window. And the last thing we need to do is give this list view a special ID. So click to go to the code view in main.xml, and then we're going to change the ID value. So inside of the quotes, we're going to type @Android ID/list. And now we can go back to the graphical layout. And what that does is it sets it as the main list view for our app. And that's all we need to do for now. So I'll make sure to save this file, and then I'll open up detail.xml. So in here I'm going to go to the graphical layout, and then I'm going to grab in the form widgets section, large text, drop it in, and then I'll grab a small text and then two medium texts. Large, small, medium, and finally I'm going to grab a button. So put that at the bottom. And now what I want to do is expand all of these to the whole height of the screen. So I'll just click on large text, choose distribute weights evenly, and now you can see that I have all even space between each of the elements. And now for my button, I actually want to have the text book now. So we'll look at changing that in just a minute. What I'm going to do first is assign the IDs to all of my text fields. If you look on the right side in your outline view, you can see all the ID names for your text fields. So we have text view 1, 2, 3, 4, and then button 1. So this isn't very descriptive of what these objects are. So I'm going to right-click large text at the top, choose Edit ID, and we'll call this T Title, capital T for title. And then for the small text, I'm going to right-click it, choose Edit ID, and choose T Description. For medium text at the top, I'm going to right-click it, edit the ID, and we'll call that T Length, capital L. Edit the ID for the last text field, and we'll call this T Price, capital P. And then for the button, I'm going to right-click, edit ID, and I'm just going to call this button. So I'll click OK. And now we'll look at how to change the text on the button. If I go into my code after I save the file and I look at detail.xml in the code view, I can scroll down and find the button, and there's a text area that says text. But if I change that to say book now with an exclamation point, later on when I test my app, I'll get a warning saying that this should be in the strings.xml file. So just in case you want to do that, just open up strings.xml from the values folder, which is in the resources folder. So open that, and I'm looking at this in the standard XML view. So what I want to do is open that in the string view. So open with Android Resource Editor. So I'll close the other instance of strings.xml. And in here you can see that I've already created the sBookNow string. So if you don't have the exercise files, just click the Add button, and then you'll choose String and then click OK. And with your new string selected, give it a name, S book now with capital B, capital N. And for the value, put book space now with an exclamation point. And then save the file and go back to detail.xml. And you can use a string from your strings file by typing an @ string /s book with capital B and then now. So that's the ID value of our string. So you can save that, go over to graphical layout, and then you'll see book now in that button field. So now we've successfully set up our layout files and we're ready to move on in creating our app.